Imagine a single plant that generates over 2 billion tons of crop every year. A crop so valuable that entire economies were built around it. Right now, massive harvesting machines are cutting through fields that stretch beyond the horizon. This is the story of sugarcane, the sweet giant that feeds our world's sugar addiction. But what you're about to see isn't just about farming. It's about an industrial ballet that transforms these massive stalks into the crystal white sugar sitting in your kitchen. Sugarcane is one of the oldest crops in the world. People have been growing and using it for thousands of years. Long ago, sugarcane was harvested by hand, cut down with simple tools like knives or machetes. The process was slow and hard, but it was the only way to collect this precious crop. Back then, sugar was considered a luxury. Only the richest people could afford it, and even small amounts were treasured. Today, things are very different. Sugar is everywhere. It's in our drinks, our desserts, and even in foods we wouldn't expect, like bread and sauces. The process of growing and harvesting sugarcane has become faster, smarter, and far more efficient. Huge machines now do the work of hundreds of people, and advanced factories turn sugarcane into the sugar we all use every day. But even with all this technology, sugarcane farming is still a complicated and demanding process. It starts with planting the crop and ends with refining the sugar. Along the way, every part of the plant is used, leaving almost nothing to waste. The journey of sugarcane begins in the fields where farmers prepare the soil for planting. Sugarcane is a unique crop because it doesn't grow from seeds like most plants. Instead, farmers use pieces of mature cane stalks called sets. These sets are about a foot long and have small buds on them. When buried in soil, these buds sprout into new plants. Planting sugarcane is a lot of work. Farmers have to make sure the soil is soft and rich in nutrients. They use plows to break up the soil and add fertilizers to give the plants a healthy start. Once the sets are planted in neat rows, they are covered with a thin layer of soil to protect them. Sugarcane needs plenty of water to grow, but it's not always easy to provide it. In many places, water is scarce, and farmers must use it carefully. Modern farms often use drip irrigation systems, which deliver water directly to the roots of the plants. This method saves water and keeps the plants healthy. As the sugarcane grows, it can reach heights of 10 to 20 feet. It takes about a year for the plants to reach full size, but during this time, farmers have to take care of them. Pests, diseases, and weeds are constant threats to the crop. Farmers use a mix of methods to protect their plants. Some use natural solutions, like releasing certain insects that eat harmful pests. Others rely on chemical pesticides. Managing these challenges is an important part of ensuring a successful harvest. When the sugarcane is ready to be harvested, timing is everything. Farmers have to wait until the sugar content in the cane is at its highest. If they wait too long, the sugar starts to break down, and the crop becomes less valuable. Harvesting must also be done quickly and efficiently, because once the cane is cut, it begins losing sugar immediately. Years ago, harvesting was done entirely by hand. Workers would use machetes to cut down the cane, strip off the leaves, and stack the stalks. This was slow, dangerous, and exhausting work. Today, most farms use machines called harvesters, which make the process much faster and safer. Modern harvesters are huge, powerful machines that can handle even the largest sugarcane fields. They cut the cane at the base with sharp spinning blades and use strong blasts of air to remove the dry leaves. The leafy tops of the cane, which don't contain much sugar, are chopped off and left in the field. This material acts as natural mulch, helping to protect and enrich the soil. The harvesters also chop the cane into smaller pieces, called billets. These billets are uniform in size, making them easier to transport and process. Inside the harvester, rollers clean the cane to remove any dirt or debris. In just 1 hour, a single harvester can cut and prepare up to 100 tons of sugarcane. But even with machines doing most of the work, harvesting is still a race against time. Once the cane is cut, it must be processed quickly to preserve the sugar content. Trucks are lined up and ready to carry the billets to the processing factory as soon as they're harvested. Transporting sugar cane from the fields to the factory is a carefully planned operation. Each truck can carry about 30 tons of sugar cane, and during peak harvest season, hundreds of trucks are on the road at any given time. Factories operate 24 hours a day to keep up with the constant flow of freshly cut cane. When the trucks arrive at the factory, they unload their cargo into massive receiving bins. Conveyor belts carry the cane into the first stage of processing, where it is shredded into smaller pieces. This shredding process makes it easier to extract the juice, which is the most valuable part of the sugar cane. The shredded cane is passed through heavy roller mills that crush the fibers and squeeze out the juice. This juice contains water, sugar, and other materials like dirt and plant fibers. The leftover material, called bagasse, still has some uses, but more on that later. The juice is collected in large tanks, where it undergoes a cleaning process. Factories add lime to the juice, which helps impurities clump together. The juice is then heated, and the impurities sink to the bottom of the tanks. The cleaner juice that remains is ready for the next stage of processing. The clean juice is boiled to remove water and concentrate the sugar. This is done in large vacuum pans, which allow the juice to boil at lower temperatures. As the water evaporates, the juice thickens into a syrup. At this point, the sugar is highly concentrated, but it hasn't yet formed crystals. To create crystals, tiny seed crystals are added to the syrup. These act like tiny building blocks, attracting the sugar in the syrup and helping it form larger crystals. The process is carefully controlled to ensure the crystals are the right size and shape. The syrup and crystals are then spun in centrifuges, which separate the sugar crystals from the remaining liquid, called molasses. The raw sugar that comes out of the centrifuge is golden brown and slightly sticky. This sugar can be used as it is, or it can be refined further to produce white sugar. Sugarcane is an incredibly efficient crop because every part of it is used. The leftover fibers from the roller mills, called bagasse, are burned to produce electricity. Many sugar factories are able to generate enough electricity to power their own operations and even supply power to nearby communities. Molasses, the syrup left over after the sugar is extracted, is another valuable byproduct. It can be used to make rum, animal feed, or even biofuel. In some countries, molasses is turned into ethanol, a type of renewable energy that can power cars and reduce pollution. Sugarcane is grown in over 90 countries and provides about 80% of the world's sugar. It also supports millions of jobs, from farmers to factory workers. In countries like Brazil and India, sugarcane is a major part of the economy. But sugarcane is more than just a source of sugar. In Brazil, it's used to produce ethanol, a renewable fuel that powers cars and helps reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Sugarcane is also used to make biodegradable plastics, which are better for the environment than traditional plastics. Despite its many uses, sugarcane farming has challenges. Large-scale farming can lead to environmental problems like deforestation, water shortages, and soil erosion. To address these issues, farmers are adopting sustainable practices. Drip irrigation helps conserve water, while crop rotation keeps the soil healthy. Scientists are also working on new types of sugarcane plants that are more resistant to pests and diseases. These plants could grow in drier climates, use less water, and produce more sugar. Some researchers are even exploring how sugarcane can be used to capture carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, helping fight climate change. But there's something even more fascinating happening in the sugarcane industry right now. New genetic research is developing varieties that could revolutionize not just sugar production, but potentially solve one of agriculture's biggest challenges. And that story, well, that's a revelation for another day. What you've just seen is only part of an industry that's constantly evolving. The next time you add sugar to your coffee, remember, you're holding the end result of one of agriculture's most impressive engineering feats.